Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Sergeant Muhammad Ali Nasser. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Toledo Police Department. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our Deputy Chief, Joseph Heffernan, to give you guys a quick update. What's going on, sir?
Thanks, Mo. Thanks everybody for coming out today. We had some unfortunate incident happen here in Toledo at about 5:37 p.m. We got a report of some shots fired near our Old West End Festival, which is a festival we have every year. Officers were quick to respond. They were right there when the shots were coming out. Appears as though there was at least two shooters. I think they were probably shooting at each other, and what ended up happening was 12 people were struck with bullets. That's what we have right now. Two of them critical. We're processing the scene. We do have some evidence, and we're following up on some leads. It's pretty active right now as far as the investigative part of this goes. The scene itself is secured. Matter of fact, I think we're just about breaking down the scene right now as far as the initial processing. Does anybody have any questions?
Do we have suspects in custody?
No suspects in custody right now. We're still very early in the investigative process.
Do you have persons of interest that you're looking for specifically?
I might turn this over to our investigative lieutenant, Lieutenant Dan Gherkin. He can probably answer some of those more specific questions as far as the investigation goes.
Yeah, as the deputy chief said, it's real early in the investigation, right? So it's been 3 hours. We're talking to multiple people, including victims, witnesses. We're reviewing camera footage. We're doing a whole lot of stuff that I can't sit here and tell you everything that we have or what we're going to have, because I don't know what we're going to have. All right, so we're way early in this for the questions about what we have or who we want caught. All right, I'm going to tell you, I'm feeling good about where we're at right now, but we're going to need the community's help when the time comes. A bunch of people were out there that can probably help us with our investigation. We'll take all the information there is. All right, but as far as who we're looking for or what we've collected and all that so far, that's for another time. All right, the main thing is here is if you have information, you send it to the police department so we can follow up on it.
So nothing in terms of a general description or anything like that?
No, not as of yet, no.
Of the 12 people hurt, either one of them one of the gunmen by chance?
At this moment, I don't believe so. At least that information hasn't been relayed to me. I think I would know that at this point, but right now I don't believe so.
Has the festival seen violence like this before?
You know, I've been around the police department. We all have for a long time within the city. As far as violence, this is over the top, right? So 12 people being shot, that's the most. I've been to a scene. I've been to a lot of scenes, but this is way over the top.
And I know it's still early, but do you have any age ranges of the victims?
I'm going to tell you, the oldest person I talked to was 61, and the youngest one I talked to was 14.
Do you think a lot of them are teenagers in that 14 range?
As far as who were shot, I'm going to tell you that was pretty young. I'm going to tell you most everybody, the multiple people that I talked to, I would say, if you want an average, I'd say early 20s.
And they started shooting like around the crowd, like in the thick of the crowd.
Yeah, again, we are at the mercy of the evidence and the video that we're collecting, so we're going to try to be able to figure that out, and we'll be able to tell you once we review all that. We collected it a couple hours ago. We got people going through it. I can't really tell you exactly where everybody is. There'll be a time for that.
And just for accuracy, you said the oldest was 61.
Correct.
Okay.
You seem relatively positive. How
What do you mean?
I'm
feeling good where we're at as
Right.
far as what we've collected so far, and my detectives and sergeants and the other people that police department are doing their jobs. So yeah,
So how confident are you that you'll be able to apprehend these two?
Well, I bet you if we get help from the community, it'll be hopefully sooner than later. But again, it's been 3 hours.
So you're asking for, I'm guessing, video, anything?
Video, information, talk to your kids. There's kids out there that probably know more than all of us standing here, right? So if they can help us out, that'd be great.
What security measures were in place prior to the shooting happening?
Way past
I
my.
can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we had extra officers on duty today for the festival, plus there was a large contingency of off-duty officers that were working for the festival itself. We had our mobile security cameras that go right into our real-time crime center active. So there is a lot of evidence. It's just a matter of going through a lot of that evidence. It happened very quickly, but it also stopped pretty quickly because there was a lot of officers that were right there.
And just from officials, being that this was supposed to be a day of jubilation and fun, to be spoiled by something like this, any message to the community or any comments?
Well, yeah, it's just a shame, when a few people, for whatever reasons, going through their head, decide to disrupt something that has been a beloved community event for many, many, many years. We had the security in place just so that something like this wouldn't happen, and unfortunately, best laid plans, it happened anyway. But those are things that we have to kind of do when we're going to dissect what happened and who was responsible, and certainly the motives are going to be one of them. Why would somebody do something like this? It's just it's horrible.
And summer's just getting started. Is there anything you want to say to people who may come to different events with not the right intentions?
Well, I would say that I think everybody has to treat people like they would like to be treated. And if we have some people out there, some groups of young people that are thinking that this is exciting, it's not. This is a perfect example, of how when bullets start flying, they can go anywhere. They can strike anybody. So I know that we're going to be out there. We've already made some plans to do some community outreach, especially with the juveniles in this city, to do some more community policing and outreach to them about violence and the consequences of violence like this. Who's next? Councilman?
At this time, we'll introduce Safety Director George Kroll, the City of Toledo.
Thank you, Sergeant. I am George Kroll. I'm the Director of Public Safety for the city and former police chief here. I'm representing Mayor Kepsikevich, who is out of town right now. I'm going to echo what Lieutenant Gherkin and Deputy Chief Heffernan was saying regarding the need for public input. There were several hundred people there tonight, and everybody has one of these. I know in my heart that footage is out there, so I am imploring my fellow Toledoans to look through your cell phone video and reach out to TPD and help them catch the people who did this. This is one of the most iconic festivals in Toledo, and it's a shame that something like this had to ruin it. So please, I know there's information out there. Please help us help you.
And just to go on that point, what you said about people kind of combing through their footage and seeing what they can find. What about people who may be worried that if they step forward, about
we have mechanisms in place to make sure that those people are safe. We have Crime Stopper that is completely anonymous. I challenge anyone who resides in this city that does not have a friend who is a Toledo police officer and can reach out and have those one-on-one conversations. If someone is worried about their personal safety, we can take care of that.
And sorry if this is a dumb question, but will the festival go on tomorrow or did it end today?
That is not a dumb question at all. We are in discussions with them right now. We are going to talk with the festival leadership, with Toledo Police's leadership, and I'm assuming that decision will be made later on tonight.
All right, we have Fire Chief Allison Armstrong with us here today, or tonight. Did anybody have any questions maybe for her related to this incident?
Yeah. I imagine it was your team that treated the wounded. Can you give us a range of wounds or injuries that you treated tonight?
Well, so everything is still being collected. I was on the scene. It was a large scene, over a dozen victims, as the police stated. So I don't have that specific information, but I can tell you fire and EMS crews responded immediately. They went into the scene once it was secured by Toledo Police, began treating, triaging, and then working on plans to transport those patients. As you can imagine, it was a large festival area. Roads are closed, and then people are leaving the scene, which makes it difficult for us to get our rigs in and out. So I also want to mention the Toledo Police Department helped us treat those patients. They applied tourniquets to some of them, and to my best knowledge, 4 to 5 were considered critical, and all the patients were off the scene within an hour, which is pretty impressive given the scope of things and the challenges that the crews faced.
Give us a sense of the logistics you had to overcome to make that happen.
It's very challenging because the festival was already in place. We had a lot of road closures to begin with, and then there's cars parked everywhere. There's people on golf carts. There's people walking, and so just the ingress and egress out of that area was very, very difficult. And then you have police coming in on top of that, closing more roads. So really, that was our biggest challenge.
Just for confirmation, you said more than a dozen. How many people were affected by this today?
At least 13, but we're still collecting information. We're still getting numbers because we treated people on scene, but also sometimes people leave, they hop in cars or they get a ride to the hospital. So I don't have those numbers. TPD would have the exact numbers.
You've got to be proud of the response of your officers.
I'm very, very proud of the Fire and Rescue Department. Like I said, to get 12, 13, 14 patients off scene in conditions like that in an hour is impressive. They did an amazing job, and kudos to Toledo Police for securing and helping them get that done.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to introduce Councilman John Hobbs with the City of Toledo. Councilman.
Thank you all for being here tonight. First of all, I'm extremely thankful for the response of our first responders, of our fire department, of our police department, of our detectives, to move in an environment like they did today with the crowd and everything else was an amazing effort on everyone's part. I also want to say that what happened today is not a reflection of what our city is and what we stand for. And so we are hoping that as a community, we will come together and get this solved quickly. There has to be a tone set early on, with summer just starting, that this type of behavior will not be tolerated. And if anyone is thinking about doing something like this, the community is going to respond quickly to put an end to this type of behavior. So we need everyone that thought they saw something, that had a phone out, that may have been recording something else or looking, to check back and please help the victims of this situation. If it were your mom or dad, brother, sister, son, or daughter, you would want an immediate response, and you would want there to be immediate penalties for what has taken place. So put yourself in the place of those families that are in those hospital rooms right now, in the waiting areas. Put yourself in place of parents and seniors or children that might be watching a parent suffer, and ask what you would do to get resolved to this situation. This is the effort and the energy that is needed today, right now. help our detectives get this taken care of, because we have to set a tone that this will not be tolerated anymore in our city at any event that is yet to come. There's so much planned this summer for our youth, for our concert series, for different things that we have taken place, the 4th of July, all of these, our parades. We need to come out as a community and protect our own and make sure others understand. We will come together, and this will not be acceptable behavior for the rest of this summer, nor any time. Thank you.
Just want to close it out with all you. Thanks for being patient with us. We're just gathering info, and we appreciate your time and you being out here. So thank you.
No further questions, we'll conclude that. Could we get the officers that spoke, could we get your spelling of your names so we get it right, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Can you step up to the mic and give us the spelling of your names?
It's Deputy Chief Joe Heffernan, Heffernan.
Your deputy chief.
Yes.
Oh, really? Now it comes on.
Allison Armstrong, ALLISON, I'm the fire chief for the Toledo Fire and Rescue Department.
And I am George Kral, GeorgeKral, and I am the Director of Public Safety.
For the city of Toledo.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And then
I'm John Hobbs III, Toledo City Council, District 1, and I am the Chair of Public Safety.
I am Lieutenant Dan Gherkin. I'm in the Detective Bureau. The last name is spelled Gerken.
I know it's 12 people shot, right?
There's 12 people.
At least 12.
As of right now.
And